time now to say hello and good morning to an absolute footballing legend.
Scholes, he was something else. You know, the game just was so easy for him at times.
Comes back to Scholes, who hits the ball from distance and finds the corner of the net. A wonderful finish by Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes is a genius. Like when Ferguson went in charge on the game, it was like just pass the ball to Scholes.
Paul Scholes, my God, what this guy was doing in training, it's incredible. Passing, the awareness, everything.
City 0, United 1. It's the old boy Paul Scholes with 5 seconds of the added 3 minutes to go.
If you're talking about someone who can run a game, who you can't get near, looks silky, great on the eye, probably looks better on the eye, Scholes.
The level of quality, like the appreciation of the pass, he could hit every pass, his awareness, goals in him. Scholes would play in any era and be one of, if not the best midfielder.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about this. One of the most decorated English footballers in history, winning 18 major trophies during his career at Manchester United, including 11 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, 2 UEFA Champions League titles. It gives me great pleasure to say good morning to an absolute superstar hero of mine. As we say, welcome to the Breakfast Show, Paul Scholes. Scholesy, good morning to you.
Morning, mate.
Good morning, lads. You okay?
We're good, man. How are you? You all right? You very well?
Very good, yes. Good.
Thanks so much for coming on. We spoke to Big Zoo before. He was still in his bed, but you're up and about normally at this time, are you?
I'm always up and about this time, yeah.
That's
early doors for me.
Scholesy, before we talk football, we were talking earlier on that the morning pint at the airport might be banned. What do you make of that? If you go, I'm guessing not when you were with Man United, but if you travel nowadays, do you have a pint before you fly?
I think I would, yeah. If a bit of Villamora was a bit of golf in Villamora with the boys, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be having a pint in the morning.
Were you ever allowed to have a sneaky gin and tonic when you were playing at Man United on a plane or not?
I would never want a sneaky gin and tonic, to be honest with you.
That's the answer I was looking for. Right, we got loads of football to talk to you about. We should obviously start with Manchester United because a ridiculous upturn in form since Carrick came in. What would you put that down to? Because so much has changed with regards to the players he's now using and, of course, the formation, and Ruben Amorim's not there and Michael Carrick is. Is it a culmination of everything and a bit more, do you think, Scholesy?
Yeah, I think you just summed up quite well on it, to be honest with you. There was a lot of confusion, especially system-wise and where they were playing. We did anybody really know? I think I was just confused by it. I think the players looked clearly confused by it as well. And the only thing Michael really did was play players in the correct positions. He also brought Kobbie Mainoo back, which I think was a travesty. He wasn't involved for that long anyway. And you can see that players have started to enjoy themselves, win games. Look, I still think there are some issues in the team that he's got to address. And look, if he gets the chance to do it next year, I think this summer's still going to be a big one for him to get Man United to where they should be.
I was going to say that. I was looking at last transfer window last summer, brought in Cunha and Bumo, Premier League experience. Those signings have both worked. Where do you think they need to address in the summer, mate?
Yeah, Gabby, I think you're right. I think last summer was probably quite good in that respect. I think they've sorted the forward line out. I think Sesko's looking good as well. Okay, he's picked up another injury. They might possibly need another forward. I just think every time I watch United, they get attacked through the middle so often. They get overrun in that midfield area. Now Casemiro has had a little bit of a rebirth, I suppose, but he's never going to have the legs if you're going to be one of competing at the top end of the Premier League. And I also think they need probably one or two centre-backs who are a little bit more physical, but I think definitely that area of the pitch, the middle of the pitch, somebody with Kobbie. We know how clever Kobbie is. Kobbie can play the game, and his brain, legs, isn't a massive thing for him as long as he's got somebody who can play that position and play that position really well next to him. I think they might need two of them. You know, you talk about your Andersons, your Tonales, your Adam Whartons. They might need two of them, three, or two top quality midfield players just to go into that area to try and get control of games.
You mentioned Elliot Anderson. I'm a huge fan of his. Out of all the players that supposedly could be on offer this season, who's top of your list for that role? Would it be Anderson?
Yeah, I think it would. I really liked him when I was at Newcastle. It was a shame. Well, Newcastle had to sell him, didn't they? With the PSR, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, look, what I've seen of him it's been nothing short of brilliant, really. What he's done for Forest has been really good in the Europa League. Now, look, he's still got to go to that next level, and he's done it with England. has he done it? England games very hard to gauge really, because I don't think they're playing the best competition until they get to the World Cup. When them bigger games come, then we'll get a better idea, and he will still have to test himself in the Champions League. But he looks to me like he'd be able to handle it absolutely no problem. But as I say, I think 1 or 2 will be needed, not just the one. But Anderson and Mainoo, I think I'd be happy with that to start next season.
Oh, there's a player that Manchester United fans maybe do not want back. Marcus Rashford. He's got 13 goals, 10 assists in the league and the Champions League for Barcelona. He looks like he's enjoying his football again, but he might come back to Manchester United in the summer. Would you keep him, or is his time at Manchester United over?
I think his time's done, Gabby. Look, I saw his free kick the other night as well. He's brilliant. I don't think he's played a massive amount of games, but as you say there, his numbers are quite good. I just think when he was at Man United, I think he'd lost a bit of love for the club, to be honest. He didn't really want to be there, it looked to me at times. So I think for that relationship to be healed will be quite difficult, and I'd expect him to stay at Barcelona, maybe for a cut price. I think someone was talking like 25, 26 million now. For a player of that quality, then I think that'd be worth taking. I just can't see a return to Man United.
He didn't look happy, did he, when you watched him? No. And
no,
if you're a Man United fan, you're thinking, hang on a second, like, you're through the academy, it's your club, your city. Why are you not happy here?
He looked like he didn't want to be there. He stopped working hard, Gabby. We well know the talent, the speed, and the quality he's got. But if you're not willing to work hard, he almost became not arrogant in a way. Maybe thought he was a little bit better than he was. He maybe went in the Mbappe, the Cristiano, the Messis, where you think, I don't have to work. I don't have to work hard for my team. I'm just going to stay up here, take the ball, beat people, and smash it in the top corner. That at Manchester United, it won't wash, and it didn't wash, and I think people saw right through that.
Does he start for England at the World Cup?
I think there's every chance, on that left hand side. Look, there is some competition for that. I think Anthony Gordon's one as well. He's a good player, but look, if they're starting with Marcus Rashford on that left hand side, I'd be more than happy with that. He's going to have to work in that team, though. I'll give him that. And he's probably had to go to Barcelona and work as well. Although I haven't seen loads of Barcelona, I'm pretty sure he's not getting in Hansi Flick's team if he's not putting a shift in. He's going to have the same for Thomas Tuchel. We all know the qualities he's got. He will score goals. He will make goals. So if he's willing to put his work in, then look, I've no doubt it'll be a success for England in the summer as well.
Scholes, I saw your podcast. You gave your thoughts on that big decision in the West Ham Arsenal game. Away from that, but staying with Arsenal, it looks like they're going to win the title. Where do you think this Arsenal side rank amongst other Premier League winners?
I don't think at this point it's going to be a team that we're talking about in the next 5 or 10 years with great admiration, to be honest. And now, look, if they win the league this year, they get over the line, and then in the next 3, 4, 5 years, they do become a great team, and that might be different. I just think what I'm watching now isn't entertaining, flowing football like your Manchester Cities were doing, like your Liverpools were doing, like our teams were doing in times gone by. But you know what? You win the league, it doesn't matter how you do it. You don't care what anybody else thinks. Now, I said that yesterday, that I don't expect to be talking about this team in 5 to 10 years. Now, I might get proven wrong, and look, I hope I get proven wrong. Arsenal are a brilliant football. I was always brought that Arsenal were a brilliant football club. With Brian Kidd at Man United, when he was our assistant manager, he played for Arsenal. He always drilled into me and the rest of the lads what a classy club Arsenal was. So, look, it's not a special team, but it's a team that's probably going to win the league. So you have to give them credit for that.
I agree with you on that, because I remember the clip a couple of months ago when Theo Walcott asked Wayne Rooney, how would one of your Manchester United sides get on against this Arsenal side? And I think Rooney says, we'll batter them. And I agree with him, because I think people forget how good your Manchester United era was. I remember playing against your teams, Paul, and we would go to Old Trafford, and literally, like, getting into Manchester United's half was a plus. Never mind having a chance. And Manchester United need to get back to that, don't they? Making Old Trafford a fortress.
They do, in an ideal world, of course they do, because that's probably where you win leagues is winning a lot of your home, or most of your home games. Obviously, there are times when it doesn't go as well as you like, but we felt at home. We had to step on the throat of teams and be at them straight away. That has been gone a little bit at Old Trafford for quite some time now. There's still teams that come to Old Trafford. You look at Leeds the other week, look at Bournemouth scoring 4 goals, look at Brentford. Okay, Brentford got beat, but they still had a load of chances.
Brighton have done well there in recent years, haven't they?
Brighton have done well. A lot of teams have done quite well there, which is frustrating. And look, Old Trafford is an amazing place to play football. And if you're playing well, you've got a good team, entertaining is the most important thing. And that was always something we tried to do. It was always something our manager drilled into us. And if they're going to challenge for a league, they've got to make Old Trafford a special. Look at every home team. When teams win the league, it's difficult to go to their place. But Liverpool won the league, hardest place to go to. Man City go there and win. It very rarely happens. So getting your home form right is a big part of it.
I should talk to you about Michael Carrick because he's done an unbelievable job. We talked about that when you first came on. Is he, for you, the manager that should lead United into next season?
Yeah, I think he's probably done enough. I think the question would be what else is out there. And look, I don't mind that the club are taking a bit of time. I think last time they were probably a little bit emotional with the Ola decision, and it in the end didn't quite work out. He still did well for a while. Don't get me wrong. Look, if there was a Thomas Tuchel or a Luis Enrique available, which I don't think there is, then I'd be sceptical of Michael taking it. But I don't think they're available. So I think Michael is probably the best candidate for it now. And I think appointing Michael will taper expectations a little bit as well. I think expectations are a big thing with Man United. Everybody is involved with a club, whether it's you as a fan, whether it's me as a fan, whether it's people working there. At the start of every season, we expect to be challenging for the league, whatever position we're in. Now, we've not won it for 13 years, but we will still expect this job in August. We will expect Michael to challenge for the league. Now, people will have to taper their expectations, people at the club, the fans, because it's probably not going to happen for 2 or 3 years. What Michael has to do, he has to build a team over the summer, especially over the next 2 or 3 years, if he's given the time, to a team that are coming to try and challenge for the league. Look, all these great teams, all your Liverpools, for the 2 or 3, 4 years before it, you feel them coming. Manchester City, you feel them coming. Arsenal, you felt them coming for the last 2 and 3, 4 years. So that's what Michael needs to get into this club at the minute, to taper expectation a little bit, and maybe he can do a good job. And I think he will. Look, we all love Michael Carrick. What a player, what a person. So we wish him all the best and hope he gets it and hope he takes us to where the club needs to be. Can
I ask, before we talk all things England, I'm curious, I'm a big fan of yours, a big Man United fan. Some footballers I speak to, they've got all their medals and shirts in a box in the loft. Others put them out, they've got a room. Your 1999 Champions League medal, do you have that out? Because you didn't play in the final? Do you have a problem with that or not?
Do we have it out?
Yeah, do you have all your medals and boots and shirts on show? Do you have any of that?
House isn't big enough, Andy.
I can see from your kitchen's bigger than my house, Scholesy.
No, do you know what? I did in my old house, but I don't in this house, no.
So they're just in a box in the loft type of thing, are they?
Yeah.
Do you not keep all of that stuff?
Yeah, of course I keep it. Yeah, look, in my old house, yeah, I did have it on display, but not in this one.
All right, okay. If I walked into your house, would I know it was your house if you weren't there? Is there anything of you up?
No.
Is that your house? Are you sure you're in the right house?
Definitely the right house. Yeah. Unless you recognise my kids, yeah, you wouldn't have a clue whose house it was.
Right, listen, we've got lots to talk to you about. We talked Man United in the first part and Arsenal, etc. Let's turn our attention there. In fact, before we talk England, I have to talk to you about Sir Alex, because great news that he's getting better now. I know that he was taken to hospital at the weekend, but I'm hearing that he's getting better. He's on the mend. Have you spoken to him recently? Does he still give you life advice? Are you still in contact with him?
Life advice? No, I haven't seen him for a little bit, actually. Oh, no, in fact, I tell a lie. He invited us to the Brighton FA Cup game. Me and Nicky went down, which was brilliant. Went into his office, had some food with him and a glass of red wine, which was brilliant. He's on great form, as usual. And as you say, look, I know there's a bit of a scare last week, and I think he's on the mend. I spoke by text with him earlier last week, and it seems like he's he's doing better, which is great news.
Good news.
Are you nervous when you speak to him? Is he still your gaffer?
Always, yeah, it scares me.
Great. Do you call him gaffer still?
Boss.
Boss, that's
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah.
That is. That's great.
You have to, though.
Yeah, all
Always.
footballers do.
Have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, it's
Always.
nice. That mark of respect. I like it. Right. I don't know if you're aware of it. We've got only 30 days till the World Cup. Let's get your thoughts on England, Shout. Are you confident? I am. I think we're going to go all the way. How are you? What's your view of England ahead of the World Cup?
Yeah, I'm really confident. I think they're a really look. They've got a brilliant manager. Got probably one of the best managers in the world. So yes, I think we've got a really good team. Some exciting players. I know people are probably saying the temperature and look, I've been there, Japan and Korea. It was hard work, but I think this team played differently. I think this team keep the ball a lot more than we did, which will help them. I think there's play. I said number. We've got a lot of number 10s, haven't we? And I have been a little bit concerned about the number 10's form of, like, you think of Phil Foden and Cole Palmer especially. Bellingham hasn't really played loads for Real Madrid, although he is coming back now. I think there's some real talent in the team. Obviously, Harry Kane. So a player like Harry Kane in your team to call on to score your goals is, look, he's probably the best centre forward in world football. I mean, someone that you'd expect to be challenging for the Ballon d'Or, which is brilliant for England. Like we said before, there's great talent. Bellingham should be quite fresh as well. He's had a nice little warm-up of 10 games maybe for Real Madrid leading into this World Cup. And we do normally moan about tiredness at this stage of the year, but I think we'll have a freshish squad, I suppose, who will be ready to look. There's going to be some good teams. Don't get me wrong. You Spain, France look a strong, powerful team. And then teams who are used to the heat, I suppose, will be good as well. But I just think this team are suited to playing in hot weather, just purely because they're capable of keeping the ball and probably go into most games with 70-75% possession, which will be a big help to them.
When you look at the positions that we're strong in, the one that I look at that maybe we're not strong enough in is maybe centre half. I know, like, your England size, like, star players, Rio Ferdinand, that generation, John Terry. Do you look at that as our weakness?
Yeah, a little bit. But on the other side to that, Gabby, I don't think there's many unbelievable centre forwards they're going to have to deal with in world football now. There's clearly obvious ones in your Mbappe's and Dembele's won't be easy. But other than that, I can't think of too many unbelievable centre forwards around the world now. Look, if this team behind them had the likes of Rio Ferdinand, Sol Campbell, John Terry, Jesus, now that would make this team a real top team and probably propel them to close to favouritism with France. But yeah, I know what you're saying. That area of the pitch is a slight concern.
If you were playing in this England team, who would you want in front of you as a 10?
Oh, good question. I love Phil Foden. I think he's a brilliant footballer. For one reason or another, something's not quite right with him. I don't know what it is. The question is, what do you do with Bellingham? Is he an 8? Is he a 10? Cole Palmer, brilliant as well. Rodgers from Aston Villa, who looks like he's found. He had a little bit of a quiet spell, but it looks like he's found his form again. I think you've got to go on form with England. You have to go on form. I think I'd just go for Morgan Rodgers at this point.
Okay. Would you like to see Cole Palmer at United next season?
I don't see where he plays for United. That's a problem. I see him probably in a similar position as Bruno, and he's not going to be as influential as Bruno is in this team. Whether you can play him off the right hand side, cutting inside with his left foot, then yeah, look, he's a brilliant footballer. Again, he's gone quiet, but everybody at Chelsea's gone quiet. I'm not quite sure what's happening at that club. Yeah, look, as many good players you can get in your team, then why not? He's a match winner on his day.
Scholes, thanks for coming up. Before I let you go, we spoke, I think, a week or two ago. We were talking about the snooker. I didn't know you were a big snooker fan, but you went to Sheffield, right? You enjoy it, the World Championships?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. It's one of the best things I've done. I've always wanted to go for years and years. Look, I'm of a certain age of your Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor fan. I remember that. And Ronnie also, I just love watching Ronnie O'Sullivan on TV, and I've always watched it on TV, and I thought this year I'll give it a go. I live an hour away. I got to see him play 3 frames, 2 centuries. So look, it was a brilliant experience. Loved being there. So yeah, it was amazing.
Have you been to the Masters down south? Have you been there?
I haven't. No, you said that. That's the next one I'm gonna do. I'm relying on tickets.
Yeah, I will sort you out, of course. When you want to come down, let me know, and I'll work out the price and let you know how much it is.
It's a shock.
Scholes, I love you. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it, man. Have a great day.